think I'm gonna win because I'm pretty awesome at Battleship.
I think you're gonna win. 'Cause I'm not. I was pretty awesome when I was about 11 or something. I don't think I played in that many years. You got old man. What's old father time working the clock for you?
Yeah. Oh wait, are we live? We're live?
I can take this off, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey guys, welcome to the Bret Hart. Super duper amazing. This is awesome. Probably the greatest day of my life. Super duper spectacular. I am the guru Tommy Thomas here with the legendary, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, the excellence of execution, and probably the coolest person that's ever been in this building, Bret the Hitman Hart. Mr. Hart, how are you today? How's this Charlotte weather been treating you?
It's been nice.
That's incredible. Well, tonight we are going to be selling off a couple of items that we have here, while auctioning off a couple of items that we have here, and you will be signing some of these items as well. So anything that you've seen interesting so far that you've signed today from all the stuff that's been sent in?
You know, I've seen some old cards going back way back. Like, I think they're released not that long ago, but they're cards that must have been taken for sure when I was either a Stampede wrestler or in my early days anyway. So it's funny to see them in a card, like all the glossy cards.
Yeah.
At the time that I was wrestling in those days, those kind of things were not happening for wrestlers. So it's kind of a nice feeling.
Breaking molds even back then. Well, fans, we are going to start it off with an auction right now. We're going to start it off with this Calgary Hitman jersey. Mr. Hart, can you tell us a little bit about these Hitmen right here?
Well, that's the Calgary Hitman. That's a pretty cool jersey. That's the pink jersey, and they don't make those anymore. They kind of toned down the colors, which I don't like. I like the original colors. I think the pink was a nice touch to it. It would kind of soften the violence of hockey. You know, it's funny that when I first had this logo come out, the stick was a little higher, and the guy had no hair, and they got so upset. They said it promoted violence, and they had us lower the stick, and they put hair on the little guy there.
Because the bald head was what promoted the most violence.
Somehow made little kids want to kill each other, apparently.
And of course, on the back, it is labeled Hitman number 15. And you've already signed it for him, but I guess you'll probably personalize it as well afterwards. Any reason why they gave you the number 15?
I think that was because at the time that was 15 years.
Ah,
15-year anniversary.
So this 15-year anniversary jersey of the Calgary Hitmen, signed by Bret the Hitman Hart. The auction starts at $150, so put your bids into the comments section. Gonna hang that back up there. Hopefully the set doesn't fall over. So tonight we're gonna shake things up a little bit. We have decided to play a little competitive game known as Battleship. And because I'm a very competitive person, and I can't beat him in wrestling, arm wrestling, racing, hockey, nothing else. Maybe tonight I can beat him in Battleship. Are you ready to compete in this game, sir?
I might need a little coaching, but I think I'm ready to go.
Okay, I'll let you start it off if you want to shout out a number, and I'll let you know if you've hit one of my ships or if you've missed one.
Okay, and then what do I do? How do I know?
You can put the white peg in the top of the board wherever, like whatever number you called out, to know if you've already called out that number.
C3.
You're going to call C3. I do not have anything there, Mr. Hart. Oh, very, very lucky for me. I'm going to try. I'm going to go with my favorite thing to put on a steak. I'm going A1. Do you have anything in slot A1 down here on your board?
No.
No.
That is a very foolish call.
Hand me that real quick.
Oh, hand you the jersey. The production team has come to ask for the jersey.
Okay.
Just say there is no fight strap.
There's no fight strap on this jersey. I don't know what that means.
I'm going to go E5.
You're going E5. That is a miss, Mr. Hart. I'm gonna mirror you. I'm gonna go E5.
Okay, what does that mean?
So you'd look down here and see column E,
Ooh,
and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So what happens if that's a hit?
Oh, I got a hit. That means you put a little red peg in there to let me know that
So
I've hit that
I'm
spot.
wounded, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, and while we're sitting here playing this game, let me just ask you real quick, what is, like, you've got, like, let's say a Saturday off, the weather's beautiful. What's your perfect day? Like, what are you doing with that day?
Lately I do. I work out a lot.
Okay.
I take a good portion of my day and work out, and I get my workout done, and then I usually have one or two or three or four of my grandkids come over, and I'll spend a little time with them. But mostly I'll do little things like doodle and draw, and I do a lot of artwork still today, drawing a lot of stuff. I usually do caricatures of my kids that make them laugh, and make once in a while they'll cry because they don't think they look like that and that kind of stuff.
Like, you'll accentuate their features that you know they're like, oh no, I don't want you to accentuate that.
Yeah, yeah, but it's always they know it now is that's part of the game.
Okay. Is there like, what really got you started in art? Has that been something you were into like when you were a child, or is this something that you've kind of come into recently?
Well, no, I've always been a cartoonist. I mean, I wouldn't even necessarily call myself a good artist, but I'm a good cartoonist. I can draw faces.
Okay.
I can draw hilarious faces. Like if I get your face one time, then I can draw you forever. Like I can always draw you where everyone laughs. Like it's like I can draw the most hilarious caricatures of certain people. Like for example, when I used to wrestle, I could draw Virgil all the time. And until like even Virgil loved it when I used to draw him on the blackboard. And some guys I could just draw perfectly. There was kids I could draw in school that would, once I could draw them, it's like your history. Like you're done every day. And anyway, it's like that with certain cartoons. I can just have this, and some people say draw me. And
Yeah.
it's like I can't draw you. I can work on it, and eventually I can get something close. But some people are hard to draw, and then there's some people I can draw if I'm lucky and I hit a bullseye where I can draw you perfectly, and
Yeah.
I can draw you perfectly forever. And it's like you're easy to draw. And I do remember drawing a lot of wrestlers on the blackboards in the dressing rooms, and I used to draw all the wrestlers in orgies and stuff like that on the blackboard. And it really was just out of boredom. And usually in the beginning, nobody knew it was me. So I would draw this big orgy on the blackboard and all these sexual positions and stuff. And it was just to make guys laugh. And sometimes I remember no one knew it was me. Like I would just sit back down and there'd just be this big orgy drawn on the blackboard and I'd be getting dressed. No one ever, I'd like, who did that? And it's like, I don't know, And then I remember George Wells would come in the dressing room and he would start trying to touch it up. And then everyone would come in, and everyone thought for the longest time George Wells was doing the drawings on the blackboard, and he's going, I swear to God I didn't draw it.
I came in, it was like
I was
this
just trying to
already.
write the little bubble in the cartoon, anyway, so it was just kind of funny stuff like that, but it got over, eventually they knew it was me, and then wrestlers would ask me to draw, please draw something on the blackboard, or this happened last night, and then I would take it and draw a perverted sort of made up version of what happened the night before at the bar or with some girl or whatever. But I would draw something on the blackboard. And I noticed over time that Andre the Giant used to laugh so hard. Like he really, really loved and the crazier the better. Like the more perverted and the more, and he would laugh. I mean, when I say Andre laughed, and Andre for many years of his life was in a lot of pain. And he would laugh so hard that it was like, everyone, and loud, like really loud. And I remember years later when I used to draw Steve Lombardi, the Brooklyn Brawler. I'd draw him in the middle of these orgies and stuff like that. And he would get mad. He'd go, how come you draw me on the blackboard and all that? And it's like, and I go, Steve, I said, I'm just drawing. I'm drawing for Andre.
He can't get mad at that.
I said, I'll tell you what, Steve. I said, I won't draw you ever again if you don't want me to. But I said, the next time I draw you, I said, I just want you to stop and look over at Andre. And if Andre's not laughing his head off, I won't ever draw you again. And he came up to me and said, you draw me anytime you want. And it was
That is amazing.
because Andre used to laugh and really laugh hard. And it got to be where I did remember one time I drew one of the agents in the dressing room on the blackboard, and he got really mad. He told me never draw him again, and what if my wife saw that and all? He got really upset about it, and I was like, he would kind of ream me out pretty good. And this was in Minneapolis. And I remember thinking, like, what would your wife be doing wandering around in the dressing room anyway? Anyway, so he gave me hell for it. And then the next day I showed up at the TV tapings in somewhere. And I remember Vince McMahon was standing there and he had his arms crossed and he was holding a big piece of chalk. And when I walked in, he came up to me, because I walked past him, he was handing me the chalk and he goes, "You draw anything you want, anytime you want. And if anyone has a problem with it, you tell them to come see me." And so then I started drawing anything I wanted, and it got to be a tradition where a lot of guys had hurt feelings because I didn't draw them, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, fans, we have just been informed that they have added more stuff to highspotsauctions.com, including artwork, because you were just talking about artwork, including more sunglasses of Bret the Hitman Hart, like the ones you see right here. Also, some Funkos and some other incredible things. That is at highspotsauctions.com. Now, real quick, I'm going to have Mr. Dean over there give me an update on what the bidding is going for this jersey.
Scott Smith is $230.
Scott Smith at $230. All right, we're going to put this on a 30-second countdown. Mr. Hart, it's your shot if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Go ahead and call out a
I'm
number.
Call H5.
H5. Oh, you were close. I mean, you weren't close at all. You weren't close at all.
You moved your boats while we were talking. That's why. Right now, how do I know that I called H5? If
You can mark it on the board up here with one of the white pegs to know that you missed it.
all right.
Yeah. I'm going to try. We'll go with. Ooh, I know A1 was a miss. I'm going to go A2.
A2.
Do you have anything in the A2 spot right here?
No, you really missed the boat.
Oh, I missed it
You
bad.
missed the boat on that one.
Well, speaking of missing the boat, is the bidding still going on, or can we count this down from 10?
Actually, let's go with a 10 count.
All right, we're going to count it down from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, what? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Waving my hands. And what was the name of the winner and the cost, Dean?
Scott Smith, $230.
Scott Smith, you were getting.
I don't have him. I don't have him.
I have it right here. I like it's Keaton Schaefer at $250.
Keaton Schaefer at $250. We're going to keep this thing rolling. Mr. Hart, you have traveled all across the world. You have seen every major city, every small town, but you have spent your entire life in basically the same city of Calgary, correct?
Yeah.
What is it that makes Calgary just such a special place that's kept you there?
Well, really, the reason I'm in Calgary is because I have so much family there. Otherwise, it would have been easy to move away. There's lots of cities that I like a lot that I could have moved to, warmer cities. But I love Calgary. It's where I grew up. That's where all my friends are. I still have a lot of friends from high school, and I go back a long ways. I got friends I got a friend from elementary school I knew when I was 6 years old. Is still one of my best friends today.
Yo, for real, for real? Yo, like, do you guys talk like you guys talk?
Day, like every day. He knows probably more about me than most of my family does. But we've known each other all our lives, and we've always just been friends.
That's absolutely incredible. I mean, most people, I don't even know anyone from like 6 years ago, let alone from when I was the age of 6. That's absolutely amazing. What's the secret to keeping like those, just, I guess, that kind of bond for that long?
I don't know the answer to that. Just certain people that you connect with, and I think I was always a character. I was always a lot of fun, and I was also a free ticket to the wrestling matches every Friday, which helped. And my friend that I'm thinking of was a really big wrestling fan, and it's kind of funny how he was always a real wrestling fan. Like would really get worked up when somebody lost the belt.
Yeah.
you know, and then as my career went on, you know, he didn't get smart to the wrestling business.
Oh no.
And so all the years that I wrestled, it was always like him coming up to me and going, "What's with the referee?" You know, like, I can't believe that guy hit you with the knuckle dusters right in front of the, and the referee didn't do anything. You know, he was always so animated. And, you know, anyway, I never ever did. I remember thinking to myself, he's like my friend, and he's been watching wrestling since we were 6.
Yeah.
I'm not going to smarten him up because I don't want to. It's like telling somebody there's no Santa. You know,
Yeah.
there's no Santa. Like, you know, anyway, I didn't want to do that. And of course, when Wrestling with Shadows came out, it was kind of like they took the veil off a little bit. And I remember it was like a really hard thing for me to have him at the premiere. And when he watched it, I remember he told me after he felt so stupid, you know. But at the same time, I was like, I told him, I said, I wasn't going to take the fun out of it for you.
Yeah, absolutely not. Well, right now this auction has ended. What was our highest, or what was our winning bidder and the winning bid?
$250, Keaton Schaefer.
250 to Keaton Schaefer. Keaton, please put in the comments section what you would like for Mr. Hart to write on this jersey. We are going to move on to the next item that we are going to auction off here tonight. It is this absolutely beautiful championship belt. This is the Winged Eagle, if I remember correctly, but it's kind of customized with all the Hitman accessories. We got the pink and black strap. It's got Hitman Bret Hart on the strap. I'm going to take this one to the close-up cam so the fans at home can get a good look at the Winged Eagle. And the bidding starts right now. We do have at least a $200 minimum reserve on this belt. So start bidding. The opening bid must be at least 200 buckaroos. Now, if you don't mind, sir, go ahead and shoot another shot at my board.
They're not doing very good, so I'm gonna go with the G4.
Is it too late for me to move my ship?
No.
Oh, it is too late for me to move my ship. You got it. You got a hit on my ship. I'm kind of upset by this. I think we're at a tie right now, 1-1. But speaking of, you seem like an extremely happy person. Like, you seem like you bring good energy with you. You've been very cordial to everyone here today. What's the secret to just kind of your happiness overall?
You know, I've always been a pretty easygoing guy, to be honest. I mean, I remember one time reading in one of the wrestlers' books that I had no sense of humor, which I'm always kind of laughed at because it's like, I got a good sense of humor. And if you're around me long enough, I think you know that.
I think you've cracked a couple of good jokes so far today.
But I'm always been easygoing. I'm a guy that I have a good life. I have a good situation at home. I got good family around me all the time. I got a good dog. I got a good cat.
What are their names? Can you if you don't
I
mind?
have a dog named Pico. That's a golden lab.
That's an extremely unique name. Where'd you get that name from?
I named him after the great wrestler Roberto Pico.
Okay.
And then I had a cat. I used to have a cat named Rhonda, named after Ronda Rousey, but she was no match for a coyote, so they snapped her up one night, and so I got a replacement cat that's turned out to be even. It's hard to say because Rhonda was such a good cat, but I have a great cat now that's even more affectionate and just a beautiful one of those. For someone that doesn't like cats, I have the perfect cat. She's the friendliest, easygoing, happiest cat, and really playful, and and plays with the dog all day long. I have one of my kids has a little tiny Chihuahua, like a little Rey Mysterio dog.
Yeah.
And my cat and that little dog will wrestle for an hour, and it's so funny, and they love each other. They love wrestling.
Yeah. I'm guessing the cat's the heel.
The cat tries to be, but I think little Julio is the name of the dog. He's the heel. But when he bites her a little too hard or nips her, kind of, he's like, he's sorry. He makes up, apologizes for his behavior.
Aww.
And they're like when they get together at my house, we just sit back and watch, and it's just like UFC. I mean, they'll just wrestle for forever, and it's actually really kind of cool to watch. I mean, I love watching them wrestle because they so like wrestling with each other and playing with each other.
Yeah.
I think we have some big dogs in my neighborhood, and she's kind of scared of some of the other big dogs. But when he comes over, it's like, there's a little guy I can wrestle. That guy I can wrestle, and she wrestles with him. But anyways, I have a good life, good cat, and I have I've been exploring a lot of my creative juices since the COVID stuff's been going on. I've been trying to work on another book.
Hell yeah.
Different kind of book than my last one, but similar. More to deal with my childhood and what it was like growing up in wrestling and why I became a wrestler and why I became a wrestling fan and what I loved about wrestling as a kid and the guys I used to watch.
And how to make a proper bathroom schedule with that many children in the house.
Yeah. Yeah. And my artwork, I do a lot of drawing. I still I actually love drawing, and I kind of tapped into my artistic side in the last year, and I've got some cool artwork that I'm working on. And
Gonna turn it into a big comic book series, maybe a graphic novel.
who knows? I mean, it's possible. It
yeah.
wouldn't rule anything out. Like I think sometimes it would be fun to animate like what I've drawn. I've got some great drawing stuff done, but I'd love to take it a step further and animate it.
What do you consider like some of the best like comics, animated series, anything? Just like something that you think that people maybe should look at. Like, hey, this is a really great animated thing.
Well, I don't know. There's so much changed in like recent years, and there's so much more that they can do with animation. But I always was a big fan of Ranks of Rex. I don't know if you're familiar with that comic, but
No, sir.
I think it's a comic out of Italy.
Okay.
And it's just really sort of very imaginative and very very sort of road warrior-ish kind of really just been very violent and coolly drawn. In Japan, they got a lot of really cool animation, like on TV.
Yeah.
I remember in Japan watching some of the most violent cartoons, and I'm going, oh my God, like, look at this. These are just cartoons for kids to watch at home.
Yeah, it's like Saturday morning, 8 a.m. cartoons, but they're ultra violent and they're for kids
and
over
they're
there.
pretty mind-boggling, But anyway, I mean, for me, I was a big fan of Gahan Wilson, the guy I used to draw in the Playboy magazines.
Okay.
Which I know I'm dating myself now, but
Because they don't have a magazine anymore. They are solely cyber now.
But he was such a cool artist. I mean, I would wait for the Playboy magazine. People say, oh, I just want to see the cartoons, but I didn't want to just see the cartoons, but I wanted to see the cartoons too.
It's like when I go to Hooters for the wings.
Exactly.
We're going to check up on the bidding right now on this Winged Eagle Bret Hart exclusive title belt. The big steak, what are the bids at?
We're $550 to Johnny Poda.
All right,
You can put it on 15-second clock.
$550 to Johnny Poda. I'm going to put this on that 30-second countdown. Now, you have done a lot of charitable work in not just your wrestling career, but afterwards. What are some charities or organizations or causes that are really important to you?
Well, I've always been a firm believer in the Salvation Army is a big one for me. I mean, I just think they do such great work that helps a lot of people that really need it. And almost all the time, all you have to do is look at almost any disaster or sort of bad situation, and you always see the Salvation Army there to do their best. March of Dimes is one I'm deeply rooted in up in Canada anyway. And I have, and Make-A-Wish is another one that I've always had a strong leaning to through my WWE days. But even in Canada and in the United States, I still... what better opportunity to do something good for somebody when you do something with Make-A-Wish on any level. And
Absolutely.
and also locally back in Calgary in Canada, I do a lot of work with the different prostate centers who are trying to help build awareness and raise money for some of the local hospitals that don't get the government funding from across the country. But there's a lot of good charities, that especially during such trying times like right now. That,
Yes, sir.
You can, if you had to give to one, I think you just throw a dart against the wall because there's so many different ones that you can give to that. Even for the people in the military, there's so many different charities that you can involve yourself into to do something good for somebody somewhere that really needs it, and I think it makes a big difference. I mean, I think the more you can give on all those kind of levels makes you a better person.
Yes, absolutely.
And I've always been generous with my time that way, where if I can help almost any charity, it's never been an issue for me.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Well, hopefully the fans at home will take a look at some of those great organizations that Mr. Hart just mentioned. Even if you can't contribute, just at least checking them out and reading what they're about and just educating yourself on that it's so important in today's society. We're going to check back. I'm guessing the bidding is all done with this championship belt.
We have a winner at $575. Anna Karen Anderson.
Anna Karen Hendrickson at $575 is getting this Winged Eagle Championship belt. And please put in the comments section what you would like Mr. Hart to sign on the championship belt. Please put it in so that way he can put it in there and put whatever you'd like put. Probably the excellence of execution, maybe the best there is, the best there is, the best there ever will be. Maybe just an extra dot on the Hitman, so you have that one that has 5 dots instead of just 4 dots. Who knows? It's whatever you'd like to put down there. We're going to move on to the last item that we have up for auction tonight. And this is, for lack of a better term, it's a statue. It is a statue of you, Mr. Hart. Have you ever even seen like a statue of yourself just like this?
It's one of my favorite favorite things. I have one of these at home, and somehow I think my housekeeper broke 2 or 3 of the fingers off by accident. She never ever said anything to me. But
By accident, in air quotes.
and it's always. I'd love to take that home and replace it with take the one that I broke. But anyway,
Well, if you brought it, I'm sure we could have switched it
it's
out
so
for you.
authentic. Like when I look at this, I go, "That is so well done." Like it looks like me. My boots, my jacket. This was my favorite jacket. This is my favorite look that I ever had.
It's a pretty dope look.
This was a really cool jacket. I always love. That's the one jacket I got that I keep and cherish the most. It's just my favorite piece of memorabilia from my career.
Absolutely.
And the tights. I always thought the black with the pink on it was those tights specifically were the best looking pair. When I had the black bottom with the pink lines up the front and that whole outfit. I'm trying to think what probably maybe Stone Cold or maybe Shawn Michaels era, but I mean it was probably 96, 97. Probably my best year of working, and just looking at that piece brings back good memories for me. It was one of my favorite times in my career, and that is a very well done piece of art.
Well, this extremely well done piece of art, as Mr. Hart so eloquently put it, the minimum bid is $300. I'm sorry, $350 is the starting bid for these. And I forgot my train of thought because one of the producers just said something to me over there. We're going to move on to the next question that we have. You have eaten all around the world at some of the best restaurants on the planet. Where is the best place to get a great meal?
Well, I would say that coming from Calgary, I had to go to Waffle House today. It's like I've missed Waffle House for so long. I don't have Waffle House in Canada.
You guys have Tim Hortons, right, up there?
We got a bunch of places, but they couldn't lace Waffle House's shoes up. There's nothing like Waffle House. It's the best breakfast place in the world. And I insisted today that they take me to Waffle House. And anyway, but aside from that...
No, please keep talking about Waffle House. No, this is absolutely amazing. I was not expecting that.
I love Waffle House. It is the best breakfast place, and they're so fast, and you're in and out of there.
And they're always open 24/7.
Always open, and they always got a smile. They're like the best place. And I wish they had Waffle House in Canada. I don't know why they don't.
Maybe you saying this might get Waffle House to go, hey, Bret Hart just said we need to go up to Canada.
I'd franchise it. I mean, I'd be the guy to, I'd be there to open up the doors and invite everyone in.
That
it is the best.
That is incredible. That could help add to this third act that you have been having with your life. Most people, like, they have the incredible second act and they like rest their hat on that. But you, my friend, no. Your third act has been absolutely freaking amazing, man. You got to debut the AEW championship, which is, they could have picked any wrestler on the planet. Literally any wrestler on the planet. And they said, no, we want Bret the Hitman Hart to be like the first person to debut this title. You recently graduated from college. You recently got a degree. Your third act has been absolutely incredible, Mr. Hart. Like, I just got to know what's
Canada
next.
Walk of Fame.
Yeah, and you got the Canada Walk of Fame. I meant to mention that as well. What's next for this incredible third act that you're having?
I hope good things always continue happening for me, and I never rule anything out. I mean, that's the best thing about being a guy that always follow your dreams. Just you never dream too much, and nothing's impossible. So I mean, Prime Minister maybe, I don't know.
Okay, y'all heard it. Bret Hart for Prime Minister. Write that in. I don't know when the Canada elections are, but Justin Trudeau, you're going down to Bret the Hitman Hart.
I mean, it's scary, but I mean, I wonder sometimes if I couldn't do a better job. But I never rule anything out, and I actually have no inclination to get into politics. But I admire a lot of wrestlers that have done amazing things. Like Rock is a big hero to me, and it's a shame that Trump kind of messed up the celebrity running for president thing. Because Rock, I think, would be a great president. He's a great guy and a smart guy, and I don't know if he was serious about being president, but I also look at him as a guy that could do anything he put his mind to.
Absolutely. I think that that television program Young Rock that he had, I think that's just his like early campaign. Like that's just him campaigning for the 2030 presidency. Speaking of television, is there what do you watch? Like what are you streaming? Are you watching Netflix, Hulu, any of that?
I watch it diligently because I've had focused, hunkered down on certain things for television.
Please say Lonesome Dove.
I watch First 48.
Okay.
All the time.
Okay.
I don't know if I want to go to Tulsa real bad, but I watch First 48. I love the police work that they do. I love how they piece together the shows. There's certain policemen in all these different cities like Mobile and New Orleans and different cities. I've become attached to all these guys. They're like my favorite heroes on TV, and the guys in Tulsa. I mean, I really like how they operate and how cool they are under pressure and how they piece together these. And I always go, this is real.
Yeah.
This is not acting, what I'm watching. This is real stuff. And, even the court cam gets me. I watch court cam all the time, and I'm like, it's always kind of sad to watch these people make such horrible mistakes in their lives. But at the same time, it's interesting to watch how crazy life can get with some of these people and what judges got to put up with, and the violence that happens in a courtroom. I mean, it's just mind-boggling for me. But I watch real stuff on TV, and I like that. And I watch a lot of sports on TV, hockey and football and baseball and basketball. I've become a bigger basketball fan.
I was hoping you'd say wrestling.
I do watch a little bit of wrestling, but wrestling's changed so much. It's not really the same anymore. I mean, no offense to any of the wrestlers today. In a lot of ways, I'll give them credit. The wrestlers of today, and on a lot of ways, might be better athletes. But I'll take 90s wrestling over anything that anybody's doing today. I'll take Bret Hart, Stone Cold, or, not even just my wrestling, but like, some of the wrestling in the 90s was so much more logical. Today's wrestling, they could drop the score clock on you, and you just kick out and jump up and do a running spot. It's like I don't understand it. Like, why would you get up and do a running spot when the clock just fell on you?
Thank you.
And I just don't understand it. Like,
you just got hit with 6 pile drivers. How are you standing up?
Imagine watching me wrestle and you see me take a front turnbuckle and I hit it and bounce all the way out to the middle of the ring and look like I killed myself. and then I just jump up and do a leapfrog and a drop kick. Like it's like I don't understand it, and it's you know I certainly have a lot of respect for the young wrestlers today, but I don't think they can spell psychology.
Back in the 90s, I loved that, like, no match went beyond 15 minutes for the most part, and they told better stories in that amount of time from bell to bell than anything nowadays. But right now, we're going to check the bidding on this statue right now. Diener, what's the bidding? What's the name?
Jimmy Ford Jr. is at $675, and people are asking about if there's a box or a case that goes with it.
I don't know if Big State can see this on the hard. Actually, you know, I'll just hold the box up. Yes, it comes with the box, all the padding and stuff in it. And just so you fans at home know, this statue is very, 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 very pricey on eBay right now. As a matter of fact, pause for a second. Go over to ebay.com, type in Bret Hart statue, take a look at the price, and then go, oh, holy shit, I should probably bid a little bit more. Just throwing that out there, guys, because this statue on eBay, unsigned, is worth a very, very gross amount. I say gross in the good way, like a very good amount. We're gonna keep moving on. So with everything that has happened with like all these current shoot DVDs that have come out, television programs like Dark Side of the Ring, Twitter, social media, all of that, you have been one of the people that kind of controversy doesn't really surround you in that way, like at least negative controversy like that. What's been just one of the life mantras to keep your mind in that, keep away from controversy?
Well, you gotta keep your pants on, you know, for the most part.
Literally or metaphorically?
Both. But I think, you know, you do the crime, you do the time. Like if you know, in a lot of ways, you know, sometimes you do crazy stuff when you're younger. You may do it a long time ago. But if you did it, it can come back many years later and bite you on the ass. And I say that knowing that I've done a lot of crazy, stupid things in my lifetime. But whatever the craziest and stupidest things I ever did, I don't think will come back and bite me in that kind of way. Where I think I'm pretty safe. You know, I did spend 6 years with Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and you know, I have some kind of a guilty conscience. But at the same time, you always have this idea in your head that, you know, there could be a camera on or a picture, or someone could, you know, back in those days in WWE, you get fired for the smallest thing. You know, it takes the smallest little thing to get fired. And in those days, you know, I had so much at stake. You know, I had a mortgage on a house that I was, you know, mortgaged to the hilt on, and you know, like everything could come crumbling down really fast with one mistake somewhere. And you know, I was lucky, and I'm not saying I didn't make mistakes in my career, but I made them, and luckily for me, I never made any that were huge, big, embarrassing mistakes that really, you know, can really come back on you. And I know that some of the wrestlers I know that I love and respect have made mistakes, and you know, I feel real bad about those things. And you know, there's a lot of that sort of, that was in the days of the boys, the wrestlers having fun and stuff like that. And you can make excuses, but you know, then again, it's like, you know, if that was your daughter that was in the room and somebody did that to her or something, you know, like you got to look at both sides of it. And sometimes just the optics don't look good years later to say, okay, well, that's what you did. And you know, and I understand that, and it's kind of a different time right now. But I think, you know, the truth is that you know, your wrestling character is one thing. For a lot of people in wrestling, they have their wrestling character and then they take that off and they go home. But for me, and maybe this is what has been my problem, is I was always Bret Hart. I was always Bret Hart going to school. I was always Bret Hart that my dad was tougher than your dad. You know, okay, so let's wrestle on the grass and see whose dad's tougher, kind of thing. You know, I always had to defend wrestling. Oh, wrestling's all bullshit. You know, boom, I'm fighting the guy after school. You know, it was always always part of my makeup, wrestling, and my life and the people in it. Until like, and then you're Bret Hart, you're wrestling in college and you're wrestling in high school, and they want to beat you because your dad's a pro wrestler, and you keep climbing that ladder, and then you're a pro wrestler, and you're on TV, and you're on basically a pair of swimming trunks and a pair of running boots and wrestling boots, and you're suddenly a wrestler, and you're on TV, and you're skinny, and you got no tan, and you're and then you're wrestling, and you're always, people see it, and it's like, oh, I saw you on wrestling on the weekend, but it becomes your whole life, and then it's like, things for me turned. Like, then I got bigger, I got stronger, became more famous, I became like a cartoon character.
You were literally on The Simpsons. You were literally a cartoon character.
I became an action figure. Kids, like, and the thing about it that kind of strikes me is like, people are going, like friends that I know go to a high school reunion or something. My kid's buying your figure, and my kids are going to school and buying or bringing kids posters of me so that they can put them on their room and stuff like that. And it's like you become this star. But I guess my point is that I was always Bret the Hitman Hart. I mean, I've been Bret the Hitman Hart since I was in grade 1. And so, I mean, it's how much respect you have for that character. I mean, for me, people say that's the problem with Bret Hart is he was always believed that he was this wrestling guy, that he was the toughest guy around and this and that, or he thought he was a superstar. And maybe I'm guilty of that, possibly, or maybe somewhere in the way people view me or whatever. But in a lot of ways, I always was that guy, and I've always been that guy. And in being true to that guy, I can say that the character that I presented in the ring isn't a whole lot different than who I really am inside. Whereas some wrestlers will go, I'm nothing like that. My wrestling character is one thing, and when I go home, I'm not that character. I would say I'm the opposite. Well, I was Bret the Hitman Hart at work and at home. And when I came home, and I've always loved being who I am, and I'm proud of who I am. And if I always tell people that if your kids were watching me when I was wrestling, it was time well spent. Like, I was a good hero to watch. I wasn't the kind of guy, I never have been a guy to suddenly get an impaired driving ticket, I hope, or get caught shoplifting, or being drunk on a plane and punching a stewardess, or it's like, you won't hear, there's no headlines about me doing stupid stuff, because I don't do stupid stuff, because that's not something I would do. And I say that knowing that I could walk out of here today and something really bad, misfortune, could come back and bite me on the ass.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not.
Hear about Bret Hart, he hijacked a plane to Cuba or something.
So now we actually, Bret Hart, don't send him to a plane to Cuba. No, I'm kidding.
But you gotta, it's all about being able to look yourself in the mirror. And I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of what I represent. And when people are fans of mine and come up and tell me how much of an impact I've had on their life, it means something to me. And I don't take it for granted and just go out and do something stupid a few minutes later. Or, I take pride in who I am.
Yes, sir. Well, do we have a final bid on this statue?
No movement at 675 to Jimmy Forbes Jr.
675 to Jimmy Forbes Jr. We're going to put this thing on a 10-second countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7. I got real nervous with that statue. I got real nervous holding that. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to wave my hands. We're going to hope that nobody comes in and bids. Mr. Hart, do you have any words for the fans out there in internet land?
No, just that, I hope all my fans are good, and that they still get a chance to watch me on. I know a lot of wrestlers or fans watch the network and watch wrestling back. I think if you go back and watch my body of work, or a lot of it, it's some really good stuff. Like, I still stand by my motto of being the excellence of execution and the best there is and best there was and all that stuff. Because I really loved what I did as a wrestler, and I knew when I was doing it, I almost always knew the camera was on. Like, when I knew it was going to be a Saturday Night Main Event, or it's going to be a pay-per-view or WrestleMania or whatever, I was determined to give you a stellar match. And I always, with whoever I worked with, and I say whoever I worked with, I did everything I could possibly do to give that person the best match he could possibly have. And I look back now, and I'm very proud of matches that I had. I watched a match back just a few weeks ago with the 1-2-3 Kid, which was just a Monday Night Raw match that was, for some wrestlers, might not have thought much of it at the time, or even a lot of people never even watched it or don't even remember it. But it was such a good match, and it was such a beautiful little story for 15 minutes on Monday Night Raw. And it's just one of those things that it's like, it's nice to bring those kind of things back to life.
So you don't really keep up with AEW then, do you? See,
I do. I know that there was a salute to it from.
Yeah, CM Punk and Darby Allin had a match, and someone actually did the side-by-side comparison, and they just.
I really liked it, and I know I got a text from the Kid, Sean Waltman, and he loved it, and it was a nice little salute. I really did appreciate that, but I think with a lot of my matches, like I had someone talk to me about. Someone named off all the matches, the best Bret Hart matches that are not on pay-per-views, that were just regular matches.
There's a list,
and it was a really good list. I mean, it was really good. But some of the matches that they left off, if you want to go back and watch some good matches, go back and watch the matches I had with Akushi. You can watch. I had a couple of knockdown dragouts with Akushi. One was a pay-per-view and one was a Monday Night Raw. I think pretty close together. But I also had a match with Pierre Lafitte, which was a horrible, silly storyline where he stole my ring jacket and all that stupid stuff. But
they still do those storylines in wrestling today, by the way.
Yeah, well, mine was living proof of it. And we were both two wrestlers that were like, we would like to have had a more serious angle, but instead it turned out to be he stole my jacket, which is like, why wouldn't I just go get another one? But anyway. But the fact is, the matches that we had. You want to watch a great match? Look up Pierre Lafitte on Monday Night Raw and the In Your House pay-per-view. I think I had it in somewhere. It might have been Detroit or I think it was in Michigan somewhere. But there's such good matches, and they're not the same match back. I think they're one day apart. One was on a Sunday and the next one's on a Monday Night Raw. But I haven't even seen them back in months, or years actually, but I can tell you right now that they're great matches, and they're hidden gems that people. I only noticed it because it wasn't on the list of great matches that people don't watch, and it's like, I had a lot of great matches with guys that sort of look to me to look, I want to have a Bret Hart match. I can remember a lot of wrestlers saying that. I want to have a Bret Hart match. Nobody's ever wrestled you and not had a great match, which is not true. But I want to have a great match, and it's like, okay, we are going to deliver a great match, and I would do my best to do that, and I think I achieved on a lot of levels. I would achieve that, and some guys were just so much fun to work with, and I think today fans appreciate sort of the inside stories of wrestling, that they understand that it's, basically, I think for me as a wrestler, I was a stunt coordinator, I was the writer, I was the director, the editor, and I did everything. And my matches are 15-minute movies, and
I like that.
I think. Not that they're all 15 minutes. Some of them are an hour long and stuff like that. Like the Iron Man match. There's so many great matches that I stand back today, and I'm very proud of my work in general. Like, you can take my body of work over. I started in WWF in 1984, and was there till '97. And you take my body of work in those years, and I don't care who you. There was nobody that worked that hard and worked that steady and that reliably. And I never missed a town. I never hurt one wrestler in my whole career. You watch my matches, you watch the chair shots, the backbreakers, the turnbuckles, all the things that happen in a match. and no animals were harmed in the making of any of those movies. And that's a real testimony to what I stand for and what I believe in. And that's why I know I've been a little hard on Bill Goldberg over the last year or two, like where I always criticize him and stuff like that. But it's it's not real. Someone needed to tell him that. It's like, but it's you got somebody's life in your hands in that ring. Any idiot can climb up on the top turnbuckle and jump off with both knees and land on somebody's face and break his neck and go, geez, that looked great. Whereas, you watch my matches back, I did a lot of stuff in the ring, and it looked great, and nobody ever got hurt.
Absolutely. Well, I think we have officially come to a time limit draw on our game of Battleship. So technically, this is a draw. I'm going to take the victory because home field, right? Is that how that works, home field?
I don't think so. I think we would have to just go one more.
This has been absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to give you a good old-fashioned hug because, this has been so great. Thank you, fans, for tuning in to the Bret Hart is Awesome, super-duper amazing, super fun selling show. I'm the Guru, Tommy Thomas. This is the Hitman, Bret Hart. Thank you, guys. Or Bret the Hitman Hart. Wow, I did so good until the end there. I did so good until the end.
You put everything in jeopardy.
Well, fans, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Tune in next week on Tuesday for whatever we are streaming on Tuesday. I have forgotten the schedule. I'm the Guru. This is Bret Hart. Thank you for watching.